Hey, good morning everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss Pre-Market Report for Wednesday, August 30th, 2017. I'm Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Let's take a look here at the daily chart of the ES right now. Basically, you see that price continues to hold within this range right here. And again, this is what I mentioned before. It's very difficult to do anything from a multi-day perspective when you're working with the range like that. But for the most part, there are short-term levels that you can watch for directional rotations within the range. Right now we're just holding off the upper edge of one of those ranges. So recent highs up here have put in price into about 54, 55, and today's high so far is 54.25 as price has reversed from that zone yet again and could be headed back toward 34, perhaps even lower into about 20. So right now, again, we've been talking about this type of pattern that's been developing. Eventually, the expectation is for an upside break and expansion, but right now, still looking for further development of the range. So could be a short-term momentum move back down after price rejecting off these recent highs. So if you take a look here at the intraday time frame for the ES, let's see here, what you'll notice here is how strongly price rejected off those highs. So I mentioned 54, 55 has been recent highs. You can see the profile doesn't go up there over the last 5 days. Very quick rejection, lower high, and already pushing lower below VWAP, below VPOC. So pretty strong rejection. I would say pullbacks perhaps as high as 51s could still be a selling opportunity for a continuation lower. So continue to watch 54s. Again, above 54, 55, that 54.75 starts to squeeze the stops above those levels. So anything beyond that zone could be decent, but for right now it continues to hold as resistance and the upper end of the range. Crude oil over here. So if we're taking a look at crude oil, continues to trend lower. Here we are, 45.91 as the low of the day so far. The previous session got as low as 45.76. So today we're getting down toward that level, but not quite there. I mentioned before that we're in a nice little short-term push lower. I mentioned to our room that any rotation in the 47s above that high could be a selling opportunity down. But we're kind of far away from that idea at the moment. So watching for signs that any pullback could be a selling opportunity because this thing continues to just quietly push lower. Again, overall, this has been in a kind of a quiet range that really hasn't been the best for multi-day swing type of trades. It's really been choppy back and forth. So still watching this one and cautiously approaching crude. With regards to the NQ, we've seen a great squeeze here over the last session. Failed new low, price rallied back up, and here we are above the previous month's close. I mean, we only have one more trading day here, which is Thursday, and then the month is over and we turn the page to September. And so far, price has traded just a little above the close and a little below the close in a very narrow month. You can see here the projected pivot range for September is going to be very, very narrow. That's usually indicative of expansion or at least volatility. It doesn't have to necessarily be expansion. We can see a big volatile move down, then up, and then back. Then we've seen volatility, but we really didn't see expansion. So this one, again, continues to develop, continues to hold off 5900, 5907, continues to have trouble above these highs. And again, for some reason, we haven't hit the midpoint, which is not that far off. So do we get it on the next shot? Right now, we got to continue to watch prices at 5,900 as bears continue to defend that zone. Eventually, squeezing above 59.07 could be the key to really getting this thing going, but still in the range for now. Lastly, looking at gold futures, we had quite the rejection up at 1330. We talked about before that the last two times that prices tested the 1330.3 FOMC key level, the last two times was offered hard. We had already seen prices start to reject off that zone after the test yesterday. And now we're seeing how that session really ended up. Much more weakness throughout the rest of the session, eventually closing back below the previous session's close. And today already you're seeing a retest entry back toward the mid that's been rejected. So inside day, still defending bears, and for now, again, 1330 showing signs of weakness here. So I would say bears right now looking to defend between 1320 and 1321.5 for a shot at returning prices back toward 1300 and perhaps a little bit lower. Remember, we've been in an uptrend, so if we do get this little pullback, you got to be careful for the next squeeze up. So right now, if you're counter trend trading, the short-term move is about the 1300 to 1295 before you have to start watching for signs of a squeeze. One last thing, this is the last pre-market report. I will be out of the office the rest of the week and into Labor Day, so the next time I'll be back with a pre-market report and back in the trading room will be next Tuesday, which will be September 5th, 2017. We'll also be doing the monthly market outlook on September 5th as well. And one last thing, I know everyone has heard about Houston and just the crazy devastation that has happened down there. Just thoughts and prayers to all those folks that are affected, including my friends and family that are out there. You know, my family's been affected by it as well, including friends. So whatever you can do to give. Red Cross has had some great efforts to raise money in addition to J.J. Watt Foundation and others. Anything that you can do can help. It's greatly appreciated. These folks really, really need your help. So whatever you can do to help will be greatly appreciated. And looking forward to helping those folks get back up and running. All right, everyone. See you soon. Have a great day trading, and I'll be back at it soon. Take care.